Call Haloim Yahweh, Bahasham, Mashak Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash, Barakatham, Shalom. This is your fellow servant Tazawar from the GMS Orlando camp, here with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone whom rule well, and from whom we learn this truth. Shalom to you, Akim, who are not in GMS, but are pushing likewise doctrine in spirit and in truth, with all sincerity. To you few sisters that are listening and learning, as well as you speckled birds that are scattered among the nations, looking like those nations, to the 144,000 elect men, and the rest of the hopeful elect, to you I say, Shalom. I saw a clip online that I found it amusing, actually, right? And the reason I found it amusing is because, basically, when we link up for camp, the brothers go into how, the average Edomite no longer has so-called white privilege. And now you average Joes, you so-called blue-collar Edomites, have now realized that your inheritance was never really your inheritance. This place called America was supposed to be your inheritance. It's supposed to be your country, right? Where you all had a commonwealth of the privilege of whiteness, so-called. Well, that's turned out to be a sham. And the brothers, we bring this out, periodically, during camp. But there's a clip that I want to play for you all. And in this clip, it says that this was a quote from the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, right? Lyndon Banks Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, who, I may add, is counted and esteemed as being one of the notable presidents, within the last century. Okay. And so it was interesting and both amusing to see his mindset if this clip is indeed true. But without further ado, I'll get it for you. So Salaki. And here it is.
B. Johnson. His quote is, if you want to convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Damn! B. Johnson. His quote is, if you want to convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Damn!
And you see, that was Godfrey, right? In a podcast, right? That was this comedian called Godfrey in a podcast, and he's Nigerian. I believe he's a Jake personally, but that's me speaking as a man. And you saw how his reaction was like, damn, because again, Lyndon B. Johnson is supposed to be one of the more notable presidents within the last century. And if that's how he felt, then that gives you clear understanding that at that level, right, in society. Now, mind you, a president is a puppet, right? He's a man on a string or on many strings. Okay, but at that level in society, there is a distinguishing factor between uh, that class of people, right? Well, upper class, middle class, lower class. So he's distinguishing the difference in classism there, right? And guess what? In his mind, I'm sure, just like today, when you and it's funny because you have quote unquote common people, right? Regular everyday working people that could make their way into the office of like Senate or hold some type of government office, right? Mayor, Senate, things like that. Well, of course they make you jump through hoops and they put those individuals on strings as well. Make backdoor deals to line their pockets and fatten up their wallets, of course. But again, when you're at that level of uh, presidency and you get sworn in, right, and they start to relinquish some of them secrets to you, that might change your outlook. Now, mind you, people that are white collar or well, and right, I was gonna say or, but white collar and old money. All right, so two classes. You have somebody who can work up to be white collar people. Even they walk around with their nose in the air, and they might not even come from shit. Okay, but they begin. What happens is they begin to despise their own. They begin to despise their past, where they came from. That's why it's so rare, right, to see people that have made something of themselves in this world, so called, right, be successful, to still have a level of humility, right? Because the white collar people and the folks that come from old money, right, those that have inheritance, look, you blue collar Edomites and average Joes, y'all lumped in with the niggas and the spics and the undesirables, the lesser second class citizens, right? He said, give them, if you can make them believe that they're better, the lowest, that they're better than the best, they use the term colored, right? Colored man, then you can rob their pockets. So these people are already low in status. And it shows you that they don't give a damn about their own because they steady robbing them. Got their fingers in their pockets, man. Instead of trying to elevate that individual who is a part of their nation, who's a part of their nationality, family line, right? They gonna rob the motherfucker. You gotta be a special kind of devil for that type of shit. And this is why on this side, in this decade, right, in this era, Edomites are mad as hell because the money's gone and shit. The system is falling apart. It's circling the drain, man. America is circling the drain. And the average Joe knows it. This is why, just like with all of the other movements that go on, right? They're recruiting you simple ass Jakes and you simple ass Evite women to champion for their cause. We all bleed red, brother. Right? That's what they say. We all bleed red. We're all Americans. Yeah, them the same motherfuckers that pat you on the back, stab you in the stomach. Put their arm around you, stab you in the stomach. Be very careful, because they will relegate you niggas back to your rightful place at the bottom of society first chance they get. And they've been doing it for the better half of 5 or 6 decades under the guise of democracy. So pay attention and don't fall for that we're all one bullshit, because that's exactly what it is. The Lord has no intention of everybody being one. But to show you, this devil don't even care for and want to uplift his own people. He want to keep the riches to himself. Let's get some scriptures on this. Right? First, let's grab Job 9:24. That's easy one, right? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? But the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And what I just explained to you all is indeed wicked. All right? Because, listen, in the kingdom of heaven, right, the lowest Israelite will be better than all of the other nations. The lowest Israelite will be better than any man having high status in any other nationality, in any other race. That's a fact. Right? That's the kingdom of heaven. And that's how it should be. A commonwealth where the least of your people still have more than your servants, your second-class citizens, or whomever, right? That's not the case here. Right? And white privilege, because they used to be able to say, oh, fuck them niggers, or at least I'm not black. But guess what? Esau, you a nigga too. And you lumped in with us niggas. With us so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. As the brother Azaria always say, you're a 2-time loser, man. And that's a shitty case to be in. All right. Let's grab a scripture some more. Psalms. Chapter 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And that's what we pray for. Because, let me keep reading. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. Right? The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. And that's why he does what he does and doesn't lose a wink of sleep over it. And he don't care that you low-class Edomites don't have shit. He gonna keep taxing the fuck out of you. He'll give y'all welfare, but he gonna keep taxing the fuck out of you. Keep you relegated down here with the rest of the niggas, right? Now, mind you, there's a spectrum of in the classes, right? So you ain't got to make $19,000 a year to be low class no more, especially with the case that the dollar's in, right? Really, if you making 35,000, you low class in today's based on today's economy. You go to the grocery store, $100 get you 8 fucking things, maybe 8 items, maybe. So if you only pulling in 35K, guess what? In their eyes, you at the bottom. I think it used to be like 20,000 to 24,000, something like that. But all you got to do is look around and see the prices of everything done doubled. Right? So at least 30,000 is probably still low class. 35K. Right? And he don't give a damn. And you middle class, so-called middle class, which is really gone. It really ain't no more middle class for anybody. That's how bad the economy is. There's no middle class. But those that are maybe above the new poverty line, a lot of them are, taskmasters or law enforcement, right? So either you got a decent paying job as a supervisor somewhere driving the labor force at somebody's plantation, or you got one of them little badges that get you power while you're on the clock. Law enforcement, top flight security of the world, Craig. Right? But let's go down here. The point that I wanted to make was this. 9 and 10. Psalms 10 and 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Right? He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Okay, the strong ones, the gatekeepers, man. In this side, this is how this verse can be applied to the video that we saw. Because really, these verses here, the poor in these verses is really speaking on Israel. But we can apply these verses to the so-called Edomite, man. The so-called low-class Edomite. The 2-time losing Edomites. Your average Joe, I'll say. Your average Joe, working class Edomite. This can be applied to them. Right? That the poor may fall by his strong ones. Those government officials, like I said, the gatekeepers and everybody else that's taxing the fuck out of everything and making sure that those taxes are collected. Okay? Again, that's how you can apply this. These scriptures can be applied to the video that we saw. But in actuality, these scriptures are referring to Israel. Okay? We are considered the poor in the scriptures. I just want to qualify that. All right. Let's get another one. This is Sirach. Right? Or the book of Ecclesiasticus. The book of Sirach or the book of Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 14. And 5. Right? Y'all know where I'm going. He that gathereth by verse 4, Salakia. Sirach 14 and 4. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul, gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods riotously. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? That's the question. What's the answer? No damn body but himself. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Right? There is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is a recompense of his wickedness. Because what did I say? He hate right? He don't really envy the low-class Edomites, but he hate them. He hate the low-class Edomites. He like, you motherfuckers make our nation look bad. Look at you down there breathing a common air with them niggas. Right? And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last he will declare his wickedness. In this case, we know he's going to declare his wickedness how? By destroying the currency and this system and building a new one, a digitized one on top of it that is going to again, just like the petrodollar, right? The US currency, US dollar, the petrodollar used to have power throughout the earth, had a heavy currency, heavy weight, right? Even though it was fiat, it was weighted more heavily in the market, right? In the common market than other forms of finance, than other forms of currency, man. But those days are swiftly coming to an end. And the system that will be built on top of that will be, again, a digitized one, okay? Where people are going to have to, they're going to have to plug in via that RFID Frito-Lay, that chip no dip, them tostones, right? That chip no dip. And that currency system, whatever it may be, will have wide reach, just as the dollar once did. Okay, now every nation may have their own, they still may have their own version of a digitized currency or whatever. We don't know. That's yet to be seen. But we do know that this type of system is coming globally, as they say, right? It's going to be worldwide. All right. From here, let's get Obadiah. The point is in 5, right? But let's go ahead and start at 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom, so-called white man. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, living in them skyscrapers today, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, SpaceX, NASA, right? Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. This is the point I want to bring out. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right? And that's the question. Will a thief take until he had enough? He can only carry so much. But guess what? This guy is insatiable, man. He's insatiable. And I'm not talking about the Prince song. This guy has a hole in his soul, and he's trying to fill it because he know, especially those elites, they know that this is it for them. This is why they heap all the riches unto themselves. Because when this run is over, it's a wrap for their ass. Back into them iron chains. Making big rocks, little rocks. Right? Gonna be out in that field picking our cotton. Our linen. Cutting our corn stalks down. Gathering our grapes to make wine. Yeah. And they know this. This is why the question or the speaking point, the speaking topics come up. Well, they don't want to let, the so-called Negro or the Native Americans or the so-called Latinos get on equal footing because they are afraid that we gonna do to them what they did to us. Now you got the simple ones among Jake that say, nah, we ain't like y'all. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. You goddamn right we gonna do to y'all what we did, what you all did to us. Double. You gotta pay that back 2 times. Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. That ain't us. Because we waiting on the Lord. The Lord's gonna make that happen. We have no might on this side, no strength of our own hands. Thomas Jefferson, right? He said he trembled because he know that that God is just. He trembled for his countrymen and the things that they've done because he knows that God is just. And guess what? That justice is going to return upon their heads, and we're going to get our recompense. Our recompense. We're going to get that. Y'all going to get a reckoning, and we're going to get a recompense. Thus saith the Lord. That's not of man. All right. And after 1,000 years, bye-bye. I'm going to get one more back in Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach. And this is 12 and 10. Right? And it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? Now he's our enemy, but he's also made enemy of his own countrymen. He's made enemies out of the lower class of his own countrymen. That's a foolish case to be in. Though he humble, verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, a mirror, right? And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right? That means no matter, because in this society, the worst Edomite can commit all type of atrocities. Cut his hair, slick it back with a comb in jail, and put a suit on and go get a job making above the average wage. But you so-called Latinos, you so-called Negroes, and you so-called Native Americans, you can't do that. You don't have that privilege. Right? But guess what? Even though he can do that, we still know that what? That he ain't shit. And that he's still wicked. Regardless of that clean shaven baby face, that slick back hair, and them suits that they be putting on. Those politicians are wicked. The majority of law enforcement is wicked. A lot of those judges are wicked. A lot of they wicked. They are the wicked. So I don't have to go down a laundry list, a gamut of different classes of them. They're wicked. And if you see one that ain't, they're probably not an Edomite. They're probably a speckled bird or a member of another nation. But anyway, I pray this was edifying, and I pray that it finds you well. Until next time, Shalom.